I love running on the sand. The warm sun, the cool breeze, the way the sand feels between my toes. It feels so good to get my long legs in front of me. I'm
R.D. Reynolds
and Blade Braxton,
and I'm loving life. I love to roll around.
Who doesn't? Testify, sister.
Seeing the world on wheels is always more fun. You can feel the bumps in the street.
Did she say bumps or bums?
Did she say you can feel the bump from my crotch?
And spin around.
She's spinning around.
Just enjoying the day.
Who doesn't enjoy the day?
Giving Mark Callis
Who knows where you might end up?
You don't know where you're going to wind up.
And I'm loving life.
I think that's my favorite part of that. There are two favorite parts of that. One where she says, "Who knows where you might wind up?" Like whenever you get on a pair of rollerblades, they just have a mind of their own, and you don't know where you're going to end up. Could be down the street. It could be in Guam. You don't know.
It's a little hard for me to hear the audio, so I was just thinking about her bumps. You know, maybe she had just shaved her vagina.
Well, she said, I like to feel... See, I don't know if she said bumps or
bums.
bums. Like bums.
She likes to feel up bums.
Perhaps she likes to feel up bums.
People do call me
life. Don't you think?
That was a bad gimmick.
That was a bad gimmick.
You know what?
It's this week's new induction.
Well, they need to have someone be the opposite of that. You know, just some disgruntled. I hate life. I hate rollerblades.
And they could say the same thing. Who knows where you'll wind up?
I'm Blade Braxton, and I'm hating life.
Could have that same porn music going in the background.
Yeah, was Peter North banging her?
It kind of sounds like it, doesn't it?
I love to roll around. Seeing the world on
with
wheels
Peter North
is always more fun.
With Peter North.
You can feel the bumps in the street.
On Peter North.
Glide effortlessly.
Up and down on Peter North.
And spin around.
And spin around on Peter North.
Just enjoying the day.
And Peter North.
Who knows where you might end up?
On Peter
North. Probably in the hospital, impregnated
McCool,
by Peter North.
And I'm loving life.
And Peter North. That's what her gimmick should have been.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, ready? Here, I'm going to try and cue this up, okay?
I'm McCool, and
I'm loving Peter North.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Believe it or not, kids, this radio program is sponsored. Our first sponsor of which would be the fine folks at BigNippledVampire.com.
God bless the big-nippled vampire.
God bless the big-nippled vampire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
King fucking vitamin.
Indeed.
Hello, everyone. This is your Action News reporter with all the news that is news across the nation on the scene at the supermarket. There seems to have been some disturbance here. Pardon me, sir. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did. I was standing over there by the tomatoes, and here he comes.
Yeah, there's lots of wrestling podcasts out there you can listen to. Only one is the longest running, though. This one right here. 120 episodes strong.
Fuck yeah.
And all the rest of them, none of them have this. It's RD's weekly trip to the grocery.
Beer and V8 concoction. Last week I was sober, and I got a lot of complaints. I'm loving life when I got a V8 and beer in my hand.
I'm McCool, and I'm loving life.
Obscure wrestling news time here on the show, children. Hot off the facts trolla. You hear this? Big Nipple Vampire is she was at this TNA Impact launch party.
Ooh, what a party.
Apparently she was not real happy about being there.
Big Nipple Vampire, and I'm not loving life.
I'm Michelle McCool, and I'm loving life.
Apparently she was in a horrible mood, and whenever people were asking her about it, she said, quote, "I'm stoned, F off." Let's get old Petey on the line. Lots to talk about, I'm sure.
Foley.
Absolutely. McFoley and TNA. This will be very interesting.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
8.
My patience, I believe, has about reached its end.
Hey.
Question of the week here on this 120th episode of WrestleCrap Radio comes from fellow crapper Todd G. He writes, "Dear Artie and Blade, I've never written to you guys before, but I was wondering if Blade knew if Don had ever been walking with his granddad and stumbled upon anyone making sweet love to an animal." Don, he doesn't say it here, but I would assume he's referring to Don Mason.
Oh.
If he had, do you think Blade would be interested in regaling us with that tale, or even calling up Don to hear it straight from the horse's mouth? Again, Don Mason we're discussing.
Don Mason, yeah.
Lots of people want Don Mason on this show.
Lots of people want Don on this show. He's a very, people call Jeff Hardy the charismatic Enigma. Mm-hmm. I call Don Mason the uncharismatic Enigma.
Someone needs to have that gimmick in WWE. The uncharismatic Enigma.
Because, he really doesn't have good social skills. He's, we'll go to a concert, and I'll get all rowdy and drunk, and Don will just sit there with arms folded, nodding in approval, while I'm jumping on stage and women are all over me. But, it would be great. When you get him drunk, he can tell some good stories. But yeah, like I was telling you a few weeks ago, when I was talking about when Don and his grandpa walked in. Well, actually what it was is Don's grandpa had a friend who had a farm. And they wanted to surprise that friend by just showing up.
I don't want to know. I don't like how this is leading of what kind of surprise they're going to have.
I already told you last week. Uh-huh. They showed up. They showed up on the farm and they knocked on the door. And we'll just say Bill, good old friend Bill wasn't inside the house.
Please so say that they went to. Please say that the guy's name was Bob.
Okay, Bob. They went to Bob's front door. They knocked. Bob wasn't there. So they went around the side of the shed and into Bob's barn. And Bob was fucking a horse.
Let's talk some current wrestling news.
We have fun for an hour. We have music and fireworks and bombast. And then we get to the end and there's okay, current wrestling news. Nah.
Uh-oh. What in the... That was the weirdest thing ever. Like, the lights went out here. And he said something, the end is, I think he said, like, the end is near?
Oh.
It's the only thing that'll calm me down after that. I kind of want to get out of here.
Ladder match, 08. Sean is at the age old men fall off ladders. Big Nibble Vampire.
That's a sound bite right there, just the way you said that. Like you were her answering service. Big Nippled Vampire is not available.
One time, RD called me up and he told me, you know what, I got some emails and we really should talk more about wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, no. Okay, whatever. And then he proceeded to go on a 10-minute lecture about how great of a scientific wrestler Kurt Angle was on this show. And I was hungover, and I was just out of my skull.